At my husband Robert's funeral, my son Daniel stood at the podium and thanked another woman, Linda Mallister, for being the true family who had supported his father through the hardest times. Every head in the room turned to the elegant woman in the front row, tears perfectly placed on her cheeks, while I, Robert's wife of 40 years, sat unnoticed to the side, invisible. Later the lawyer read the will. Everything, the house, the Nantucket vacation property, the accounts, went to Linda. Not a cent for me. Daniel showed no surprise, he had known. When Linda embraced him afterward, her smile looked victorious. I said nothing then. But when I produced the second will, the one Robert had signed earlier, before he rewrote his life to exclude me, the triumph drained from every face in the room. Robert died suddenly in a car accident on a rainy morning. The brakes failed. The car crashed into a storefront. He was gone instantly. We had been married 40 years. I had believed our marriage was solid, if not passionate, sturdy, like an old house that had weathered storms. I had given up my career as a financial consultant at his firm to manage our home, believing his promise that he would take care of me. I kept everything orderly, dignified, the way he liked it, even at his funeral. Daniel, our only child, a 33-year-old software engineer, delivered a poised tribute. Then he paused and thanked Linda, Robert's former administrative assistant turned consulting partner. Whispers rippled through the chapel. I recognized her name. Robert had always dismissed my questions about her as paranoia. Seeing her now, poised and acknowledged as family by my own son, felt like the floor dropping away. That night, alone in the silent house, I realized how much of my life had been shaped around Robert's preferences, his chair at the table, his beer in the fridge, his need for appearances. I had sacrificed my career, my independence, my own rhythm, thinking it was love. The deeper betrayal came the next day in the lawyer's office. The will, signed 3 years earlier, left me nothing. Daniel sat calmly, unsurprised. When I asked if he had known, he said quietly, "Dad had his reasons." Linda understood him. "You didn't." In that moment, I lost not only my husband but my son. Over the following days and weeks, the full scope of the deception unfolded. Neighbors recalled seeing Linda with Robert for over a decade, attending concerts, decorating the house while I was ill or away caring for family. Old photos showed Robert relaxed and happy beside her in ways he never was with me. One picture included a young Daniel with them, captioned in Robert's handwriting, "Our little family will be official one day." Daniel defended Linda fiercely. When I sent her a legal notice contesting the will, he confronted me at our old favorite cafe. He accused me of being too traditional, of smothering Robert with my strength and sacrifices. He claimed the happiest years of Robert's life had been with Linda, who made him feel needed. I showed him an old photo of the two of us at the beach when he was 2, Robert absent for work, Daniel clinging to me in terror of the waves. Daniel looked away. I left the cafe knowing I had lost him too. But I refused to disappear quietly. With help from Ruth, an old colleague from the firm, I began investigating. We uncovered evidence that Robert had diverted company funds, hundreds of thousands of dollars, over years to buy properties and gifts for Linda, routing the money through shell companies and fake consulting invoices. The transfers were carefully timed to avoid audits. I hired a sharp attorney, Michelle Robinson, and filed suit against Linda for fraudulent receipt of assets, and against the estate for concealment. The case exposed Robert's embezzlement. Linda's defense, that the payments were legitimate consulting fees, collapsed under the weight of missing documentation and the timeline of their affair. Photos from her own social media, showing Robert in our family settings while I was sidelined, further undermined her claims. The judge ruled in my favor. Linda was ordered to repay over $1 million, including interest. She lost the properties, her job, her reputation. I recovered the house and a substantial portion of the assets. Daniel sided with Linda throughout the trial, angry that I was destroying his father's memory. We did not speak for years. Time passed. Daniel eventually reached out after his grandfather's death. At the funeral, we embraced. Slowly, painfully, we rebuilt our relationship. He apologized, admitting he had clung to an idealized version of his father and had been blind to my sacrifices. I forgave him. Years later, at a family gathering in the garden I had tended for decades, Daniel teased me about a speech I had given. I smiled and replied, "I always was good at speeches. You just weren't listening." We laughed together, the sound light and genuine. That evening, barefoot on the porch as the sun set, I felt the truth settle in my bones. I had been betrayed, erased, and discarded. Yet I had fought back, reclaimed my life, and rediscovered my strength. The woman who had once lived entirely for others now lived for herself. The truth had not only set me free, it had made me whole.